fans view this evening. Hope tonight finds you well. It's all about Celtic. Celtic team is out. Just wait a minute, my jumper's filled in. Ah, I don't know if I've got that because it's absolutely boiling here. It's 35 degrees today. Unbelievable weather. Anyway, the team is out. Let's get some people online before we start talking about the team. Lawwell starts. Kobayashi starts. Murray starts. Welsh starts. Tomoki Awata, Bain, O'Reilly, Ohm, Yang, Mikey Johnson, and Kyogo all start the game this evening. Interesting, interesting. I don't see how many people will get on tonight, and because I've got a funny feeling that a lot of people will probably be watching the England game rather than Celtic. How dare they? How dare they watch that lot rather than Celtic? On the bench, we've got Benji Siegrist, we've got young Toby, we've got young Clark also, Josh Clark on the bench, and you've got O'Quan, Frame, Aberjan, Robertson, Deddy, Yuri, Donovan, Hatton, and Turnley. It's quite a youthful bench. It is quite a youthful bench. You have to say. Siegrist is still there, picking up a wage, even though his missus says otherwise. Even though his missus said that he's made an agreement to leave Celtic, but we all know that that's not true at all. If he has made an agreement to leave Celtic, he hasn't done it yet. I'm just going. Right, anyway, let's jump into the comments section. Um, Richard, Diane was first in, evening all. Paul Bell, hail to all. He was second in. Richard Smith, evening all. Vincent Bryan, hail from Celtic from Dublin. James Clark is in. Pin United, Glaswegian's in. Hopefully, Lawwell and Ohm impressed. I'm hoping Lawwell really impresses tonight in that midfield. But it's still like I said in the video the other day, is where does he fit into the squad on a week to week basis? It's okay, fine and dandy getting him into the team, but it's where does he fit in on a weekly basis? Hopefully, it's on the bench. Hopefully, it's on the bench and we can get some of the. Won't be watching the rubbish game. I won't be watching the English game at all. Hail, Baz, love the channel. Deserves much more subs. Well, it's one of those things. Yeah, we're working on it. Maureen Fraser says hail hail. David says hail hail. Thomas Burns, what a cracking name. Season tickets sold out. So Mr. Lawwell get some quality signings in. Well, Peter Lawwell doesn't have anything to do with the day-to-day running of the club anymore. But it is all about the game and the team tonight. Scott Bain obviously still in goals as Celtic do not have a goalkeeper. And at the back, it's Tomoki Awata with Stephen Welsh, young Murray, and Kobe Ashe. Lawwell, O'Reilly, Ohm, Yang, and Mikey Johnson, and Kyogo up front on his own. It's a big game for. I mean, there's a lot of question marks over players that are playing in this game tonight. Um, Mikey Johnson, for one, will he be sold this summer for between 5 and 6 million? You've got to say Kobayashi. Will he be sold? I don't know. But it's a big game. It's a massive start for the young Bosun Lawwell. Mohammed the Bosun Lawwell is a fantastic, absolutely fantastic that he's getting a start this evening. And hopefully he gets a run. I'm hoping he gets a full 90 minutes. I really hope he gets and I know there's a lot of young players out there in this team. Maybe they will get a run in. But that's because there's a lot of players still away on international duty. Cameron Carter Vickers is still on holiday. The one and only Canadian, Alistair Johnston, he has still got one game to go for the Copa America, and he's still got one game to go for that. So he's not going to get back until, I mean, he'll join up with the team in America. He will definitely join up with the team in America, and it'll be interesting to see if the rest of the boys are back before the team fly to America or if they join. I think the manager will probably get them back before they fly to America. I want everybody on the one flight, you would have thought. So tell me in the comment section what you think of that team this evening. Thomas done that one. The bench is what I'm thinking. The bench is a really young bench. Naive to think that Lawwell has no say, but it has nothing to do with running the club on a day-to-day business. He's probably not even in Celtic Park on a daily business anymore with the position that he's in. He probably turns up once a week for meetings and that's it. But anyway, we know what to talk about Lawwell because I got accused in the video this morning. I got accused of being anti-board and anti-Lawwell. even though I said absolutely nothing about the board and nothing about Lawwell. I think somebody was smoking something really high buzz or something. Anyway, here we shower of lovely boys and girls. Name's Tam Mac. Paul Baird is in the house. And Tam Mac also says, hail, hail. James White says, when you only spend 68 million on a player, you only get a third rate player. Come on, Celtic, spend big. Come on, James. Celtic are not going to spend any more than 68 million, 6 to 8 million, not 68. When you look at the valuation of players above that price range, you're getting into 15 to 20 million. Players at 15 to 20 million are generally no better than players at 30 million. They're generally no player, and the jump from what we can afford to spend and what we would like to spend is far too vast. Anyway, that's a talk for a different video. This is all about the game tonight. Um, Richard Smith says it would have been more interesting if we were playing a higher level of opposition. It's only 2 games in. It's only 2 games in. Wait till you get to America and then you start playing the Chelsea and Man United. Then you'll know all about it, and then you'll know all about going up a level because that's Champions League level. That's games that you'll expect in the Champions League. That's competition. That's players that you'll expect to meet in the Champions League. So just calm down. We're only 2 games in. Look, Millwall are playing a third, fourth division team in Spain, not far from me. So is Nottingham Forest. So if you want to talk about absolutely nada games, and they're not even playing in their main stadium. When Millwall and Nottingham Forest come over here, they're not even playing in Murphy's own stadium that holds about 30,000. They're playing in a stadium that holds about 5,000. They're not even playing in their own stadium. So, it is pre-season and it is what it is. You're never going to get big teams the first couple of weeks of pre-season. They keep all that to the end of pre-season so that you're getting into game mode. By that time, you've got your fitness levels up and you're right in game mode, and you're expecting the team that starts to last 90 minutes. That's never the case. Anyway, Northampton Tim is in house. Vincent O'Brien says Virgil and Frimpong are going to knock out the English. Well, let's hope so. That's the last comment I'll make about English tonight. I don't care. Really don't care. As long as Spain do the business on Sunday. On Sunday. 68 million is big money in Scotland. Exactly. It's massive money on Scotland. The board and Lawwell and Desmond are on the same page. Season tickets have sold. The Champions League games, they won't invest until January if need be. Slaven, I think that's wrong because I put up right. Look at the beginning of the comment section on this. I went on to UEFA.com, right, and I got where is it? I'll actually click on it. I went on to UEFA.com and it gives you the UEFA rankings for 24-25. Now, this is why Celtic need to get their finger out in Europe and we need to start winning games in Europe. Because when you look at it, Rangers this year are 28th in the UEFA standings. The Rangers, yes, Sevco, call them what you like, but they are ranked 28th in Europe. Celtic are ranked 69. 69 in Europe. And some of you are saying, oh, we need to get in better players. We need to start winning games in Europe. We need to start getting the players in. Never mind just buying in willy-nilly players. We need to start getting players in that will make us better in Europe. We're ranked 69th in Europe. That's unbelievable. Leicester. When was the last time Leicester had a decent run in Europe? They're above us. Union Berlin are above us. Monaco are above us. Mulder's above us. Union SG of Belgium above us. Bobo Glint is above us. Real Betis is above us. Fucking Ghent are above us. Fenerbahce, Copenhagen, Tottenham are above us. Jesus, Rennes are even above us, and we had a good result against Rennes in the Europa a few years ago. I was at that game. Well, it wasn't a good result the away game, but we got a good result at home. But anyway, when you look at that, it's absolutely terrible. The fact that the club across the city that we slag off the pot, are 28th, ranked 28th in Europe, and we're ranked 69th. And people are moaning about us getting in players. I think the board and Brendan Rodgers needs to make sure that we get in a level of player that is going to make us that are going to make us better in the Champions League. There's no use getting players in that is just building a squad. Those days are done and dusted. Let's let the manager do his work. He knows the type of goalkeeper. He know if it's not the goalkeeper. I mean, somebody said to me, I'm not even going to go into it. It's not even giving them, not even giving people the time of day when it comes to it. Rangers going to lose 6 million from the loss of friendlies. Think of that. I don't care. I don't care what they lose and financially. All that annoys me just now, right, is the club coefficient. And I'll even put it up again if you want to go and look at it. I'll put it in the comment section again. We are ranked 69th. Is that acceptable? No, it's not. So let's get in a quality player that is going to make us better and compete in the Champions League rather than just getting players in for the sake of it. Anyway, Richard said it's not the signing fee, it's the wages at the higher level that we can't afford. Yep. Yeah, well, boys and girls, says Christopher, Northampton. Tim says, my in laws are Chelsea, so we must win. There you go. James, you're talking nonsense. You're just one of the fans that slag off the club. Alistair Johnson, Cameron Carter Vickers, Jota, Eddie, Dembele, O'Reilly, Kyogo, all third rate players, price tags for nothing. They're going bust, says Tam Mac. Richard says, that's what I mean by is to see the good fringe players are like. Yeah, it's going to be interesting second half. Going to see all these youth team players. All right, Barry, all come good. That is, we believe, keep faith in the boys. Yep, we'll do that. I think I would rather get in. Got to remember, before Brendan Rodgers came in, right? We've got time to talk about this now. Before Brendan Rodgers came into Celtic, everyone said that last summer we only needed four players to make the team better. We ended up bringing in 9 prospects. That's not what we needed. Ange knew that. Now Brendan Rodgers knows it. He now knows that we only need 3 or 4 quality signings to make the squad better. Now, if we lose Matt O'Reilly, we need to bring in someone that will replace him. We need to bring in someone of as good a quality standard, which means that we will need to spend between 6 and 10 million on a player for a replacement for Matt O'Reilly. But for me, there's no one in the club that can replace Matt O'Reilly just now. If you think that Paulo Bernardo is the answer, well, he's not. He's not. He's a different type of player altogether. Anyway, Paul Baird says there's no need for panic signings. We'll come in due course. James Kennedy says, evening. Baz Hill. Paradise Found says, I'm a solid Tim, but I want the Orange Men to win tonight. I'm feeling not a bit mixed up. That's why I can't even watch it. I never watched the last England game, and I'm not watching this one. I'm certainly not watching this one. I'll have to watch them if they get through. I can't see them getting through tonight. 68 million is good enough for Scottish football, but not good enough for Europe. Right, wait a minute here. James, wait a minute. Where's that list? Are you telling me that Midtjylland in Denmark are spending more than 68 million on players? Molde in Norway, are you telling me that they're spending between more than 6 and 8 million on players? Bobo Glint, they're above us. Are you telling me that they're spending over 6 million on a player? Not a chance. There's Karabakh from Azerbaijan. Are you telling me that there's from Azerbaijan? They're not spending more than 6 and 8 million on players. Ghent, well, there's every chance that Ghent might spend a little bit more. Braga in Portugal, not really. Rennes, they're not a high spending club. AZ Alkmaar, Dynamo Zagreb, Lille, they're not spending big. Marseille, they're not big spenders anymore, really. And then when you get into the sort of the top 20 where Rangers are around, Rangers are 28th in Europe. They're not spending between 6 and 8 million on players, are they? No. Rangers are 28th in Europe. Get this into your heads. It's not about spending big money. It's not. It's not about spending big money. You can do well in Europe without spending big money. Rangers have proved that over the years, for fuck's sake, man. Anyway, and breathe. And then when you get in at the top, obviously you've got the likes of at the top of the table. You've got Manchester United, you've got Real Madrid, you've got Bayern, you've got Liverpool, you've got Roma, you've got Paris, you've got Villarreal, you've got Dortmund, Chelsea, Inter, Leverkusen, Porto, Leipzig, Man United, Benfica, West Ham. I mean, West Ham are 16th. West Ham are 16th, but they'll spend a little bit more because they've obviously got the money down. And then you've got Atletico Madrid, Barcelona down in 18th, Arsenal, Atlanta, and Italy, Napoli, Milan, Juventus. You know that the Italian teams are all starting to come up the European coefficient slightly. But anyway, it is all about Celtic this evening. We need five first team ready players, says Paul Baird. Is Kelly on the bench, Baz? No, Daniel Kelly is not on the bench. He's not on the bench. Segrist, young Toby, young Clark, Kwon, Frayne, young Daniel Kelly is not on the bench. Now, that could mean one of two things. It might mean that he has a slight knock and they're trying to get the younger players in just to get everyone, and maybe Daniel Kelly will go to America, or it's going to go the same way as Rocco Vata. It means that Daniel Kelly has spoken to the manager and he's still not agreed this deal and he's not committing himself to the club. The exact same as Rocco Vata did last summer. Rocco Vata did not commit himself to the manager or the club, and then he was never seen. He was never seen again the rest of the season. And I hope it doesn't happen that way for Daniel Kelly, but there's every chance that it might. Why should Brendan Rodgers take a player to America that is not going to sign a new contract, that's out of contract in December? You would turn around and say, right, okay, I'm just going to leave you in the B team. You're getting put back down to the B team. You're not going to commit. I'm only going to take players on pre-season that are committed long term to Celtic. Would you take Daniel Kelly to America with you if he wasn't committed and we were going to lose him in December for nothing, for a mediocre fee? He's had a week and a half with him in training. Brendan Rodgers, he's definitely had a week with him in training, and he would have had that conversation with him. Like, what's going on? Are you going to sign this contract? Brendan would have that conversation. It would be naive to think that the manager has not had those type of conversations with players that are about to run out of contracts. They don't leave everything down to just the money men. The fact that it's not over worrying to me that he's not in the team tonight. It could be something simple. When you look at it, there's £7 million worth of defenders that aren't in the team tonight because they're injured. So it could be something as similar as something as simple as that. But there is no media. I don't think there's going to be any media there at the game tonight. I'm not too sure, but it'll be interesting for the Celtic media types to ask the questions of Brendan. What is the situation with Daniel Kelly? That has to be asked before the end of the transfer window, and just press the boss for it. You've got plenty of bloggers out there that get to go to Celtic games for free because they've got fan media passes. Get them to ask the questions. They're the ones that are getting close to Brendan Rodgers. They're the ones that should be asking. Anyway, the new core skint, we all knew that. Not even the Champions League. Good performances in Europa League and more chance in that competition anyway. But we're not going to be in Europa. That's the thing, Jack. We're not going to be in Europa. We can't get a jump down into the Europa anymore. We need 3 wins. We need 3 wins at home in the Champions League this year. We need 3 wins in the Champions League to help push us up. And even then, it's not going to push us up vastly. But we need a minimum of 3 wins in Europe to get us up that league a bit. Anyway, our youth setup is broken, says Michael Ross. Quarabag are the biggest signing was 1.3 million. OG, the quality is good enough. The quality is not good enough for Europe. Well, we could all say that. Sevco has done not bad. Zorro, yep, they have that. We've been miles more quality than them. I mean, let's talk about that. I mean, we have been the better team in Scotland over the last few years, but we've been for the last 20 years. Let's face it, we've been the better team in Scotland over the last 20 years. But in Europe, we're terrible, and that comes down to the managers and it comes down to the luck of the draw. But as I'd say, the last season's draw was one of the easiest draw that Celtic have had in the Champions League for a long time. But the people that run the club brought in 9 signings last season that were never going to make a dent in the Champions League. Absolutely never. Anyway, if all these half decent young players are leaving, What's the point investing in the B team? Well, Celtic finally made an announcement today, or was it yesterday? Celtic finally made an announcement with regards to the B team and all the other. Where is it? It was on. I seen it on the Celtic. It was somewhere. Oh, I've lost it. But Celtic have come out with an announcement of all the changes to the backroom setup. We spoke about that in yesterday's video, so that's all we need to speak about it. And this one, we've known for 6 months that none signed. No goalkeeper. Lawwell's wallet is deep in his hip. Safe, bless him, says Willie Quinn. Um, Gerald Johnson says he's probably just picked up a knock, Baz. Yeah, I think he's probably just picked up a knock. But you will know the situation will become clearer if he does not go to America. The Daniel Kelly situation will become clearer if he does not go to America with the squad. Because for me, that says that the manager has no faith in him signing a long term contract. You will not take someone to America with you that's not going to be at the club after Christmas. That's what I think, anyway. I mean, I wouldn't. If you're going to sit the boy down and say, look, are you going to sign for Celtic? I don't know. I'll leave it to my agent. And then he goes, right, well, I'm not taking you to America then. You could stay in the B team. And there's your progression out the window. The exact same happened with Rocco Vata last year. You never seen Rocco Vata on any teams. Any teams. Daniel Kelly made squads, he made the games last season. For me, it would be stupid for him. But then again, it's all down to agents and things, you know. They can Daniel Kelly's he'll be looking at the fact that Rocco Vatas just went away and got whatever thousands a week that he's getting paid to go down south. And he's like, I fancy some of that money. And that's what's wrong with the youth of today. They just want that instant stardom. They want this instant cash. They want everything handed on a plate to them. And in reality, Rocco is never going to make it at a high level. Do you know, there's been many, many players that have left Celtic and they've never went on to do it at a high level. There's younger players that went to Bayern Munich from Celtic. They've ended up in lower leagues down in England now. They've never made it at Bayern Munich. So then it just goes to show. Anyway, opinion at Glasgow said our squad has more quality than the series. Our players just lack belief. That has to be better. I don't know about that when it comes to Europe. I'm not too sure about that. I think we panic and it shows the inexperience in Europe. John says, Baz, we need to get rid of the B team nonsense and get back to playing reserve league, plain and simple. Well, that is something that the SPFL need to look at. The B team was to give players more competitive football because reserve team football was generally not as competitive because it's people are just playing the same teams. But anyway, it was meant to be a way of progressing the players, but it doesn't do that. 3-5-3 so can be 3-5-3-3 when we're defending. Not a bad idea. Why would we play five in the middle of the park? Um, Celtic will never go down that road, and Brendan Rodgers would for certain. Courtbridge isn't a little bad, little island, Gangland Orange free zone. Is that right, Joe? Yes, it is right. It is right. It is Little Island. Anyway, been on for 23 minutes. There's been 878 people viewed the video so far. Right, let's get back to this Celtic team. Scott Bain in goals, Benji Siegrist. Benji Siegrist with his misses, it was all talk. All talk during the summer. Yeah, Ben's got new pictures of him with chopsticks, saying that he's going to be between the sticks next season. Well, he's still not between the six. Today, it is Scott Bain, the bane of our life. Tobokawata, Welsh, Murray, Kobayashi, young Mohammed Bosun Lawwell, Matt O'Reilly, Ohm Yang, Mikey Johnson, and Kyogo. You've got to say, I'm expecting goals galore tonight. When we look at the way that the team was set up, it's the second game into the pre-season. I am expecting goals galore at Little Hampden. Little Hampden. And why don't Queen's Park play at Hampden anymore? Because it's sold it to the SFA and they've got that shitty little stadium next door, that little training pitch next door. Anyway, Queen's Park tonight, the water's on. A little bit cloudy, it's looking, a little bit cloudy. Matt O'Reilly getting off the bus first. Scott Bain with a big coat. And I take it it's freezing back home. That's winter jacket stuff. That's winter coat stuff Spain's got on? Manager? Hmm. It's an interesting picture of the manager. I think the manager just wants to get away to America now and get the team away out there and get them training and get set about for the season. Anyway, let's give me your predictions for tonight. Of course, I'm watching Holland pump England. Come on, fuck off. Why would you want to watch England when Celtic are playing tonight? That's just madness. I'll be watching Celtic. Not a fucking chance I'm watching that lot. Not a chance. Happening, wee man. Right, what is your predictions for tonight? I am going to go one to Queen's Park because Bain's in goal, and then four Celtic. I'm going to go. Yeah, been on holiday all season. Bain has. Yeah, he's been on holiday for years. He's been on holiday for years. Has been. I'm going to go 4-1 Celtic tonight. Give me your predictions in the comment section. Tell me live what you think the score will be, and let me see if there's any other. Let me see if there's any other headline. Nah. The thing that's getting me, the Benji Seagrass mystery deepens. Yeah, that's what's getting me as well. The situation surrounding goalkeeper Benji Seagrass could puzzle fans as pre-season gets well and truly underway. After indicating that he would not return to Parkhead, Benji Seagrass showed up in pre-season training last month. Ben Seagrass talked about his intentions to leave on Scottish Cup final day. He said, "After my last day at work, I'll leave as soon as possible and I'll never come back here to Celtic," he said. Then, surprisingly, he didn't play any part in Celtic's opening pre-season match against Ayr. He's in the squad today. Scott Bain, the young keepers, Toby is in, and Josh Clark are also on the bench today. But Seagrist, Seagrist is on the bench also. Seagrist was brought in by Ange Postecoglou. It's going to be an interesting few weeks. I just think get rid of him, get rid of him. Simple as that. But we're not going to get rid of him until one of these young keepers, and I'm hoping it's young Toby, sets up to the mark. Because I mean, we've basically got four keepers at the game tonight. Now, the second half of the game last week saw the young two keepers getting half and half each, whilst Scott Bain plays the first half. It'll be interesting to see if Scott Bain plays the first half of the first half, and then Benji Seagrass comes on, and then young Toby comes on, and then young Clark, just to see who's the best out of them. And then hopefully somebody will come in and pay us some money for Benji Seagrist and get him out the door. We'll get a first choice keeper in, and young Toby and young Josh Clark can fight it out for third choice goalkeeper at Celtic. 18-0 Celtic, says Callum. 6-0. John says 2-1. And I hope you have got that the right way around, because remember, it is a away game. So I'm taking it you're saying 2-1 to Celtic. Wee man Sham's going for 3-0 Celtic. Richard's going 5-2 Celtic. Callum is going 4-0 away to the USA for the Heat 4-0 boys. Well, talking about heat, it was 35 degrees here today. 7-1, Jim's saying. Paul Baird's going for a 6-0. I think if we scored a lot of goals the first half and then change the team around, and then it's always the same. As soon as they change the team around, that's it. The fluency of the football and the pace of the football all seems to change, even though that they're all in training and they do the exact same thing. 18-0 says Callum. I'm interested in seeing young Lawwell playing, so am I. A good one for the good guys. Opinionated Glaswegian says Benji's leaving 100%. There probably nobody wants to sign him yet. Yeah, that's probably true, actually. Nobody wants to pay Celtic money for him, that's for certainty. Ijo didn't want the Orangeman trombone about just seen Forden bless himself with his left hand. Who? Who? 4-0, and that's that. There's been over 1,063 views. We've been on for 29 minutes, and as per usual, I'm staying on for 1/2 hour. Greetings from a rainy Munich. The Irishman in Porto is in Munich. Seriously? You're no away to watch that. Oh, I forgot you're working over there, aren't you? You're working there. The cameraman. That's right. You'll be working over there. Get us a ticket for the Spain game. Get us a ticket for the Spain game and I'll fly up. There we go. Irishman in Porto, since you're up there working on the Euros for TV, get me a ticket for the Spain game and I'll fly up. There we go. Can't ask for much more than that. Come on, Jordan's walks through Little Island. Cough, cough. Hi, Baz says, Sun stop sheep. Opinion Glaswegian says, Brendan looks like he's willing to give Kobe Ashley a chance. He never actually had a proper chance, to be fair. We'll lose. Callum says, we'll lose 1-0. So Birmingham law was not true. It is only speculation. Um, it is still, there's a few other. Hail 67 said it might happen also. They put out a blog this evening. Um, Hail 67 put out a blog this evening talking about him going to Birmingham. But this could be his big chance. This could be his big chance. Joe Doherty says the outskirts. My name is. We're going to go there. Hail Baz, just back from Orihuela Costa. You should have said I would have popped down. Viva España. Yep, viva. I can't even get one myself. I'll be stuck in Munich fan zone. Fuck's sake. Terrible, man. Terrible. Unbelievable. Never mind. Ah, it'd be good to go though. But what I might do is I might head up to Alicante for the game and see if Alicante's got a fan zone because I fancy getting right in about it. And it should be in press. It should be good. Looks like a good prospect. Big Bosun Lawwell. Yeah, he does that. It'll be interesting to see how much game time he gets tonight. It will be interesting to see how much game time. I'm hoping that Lawwell gets a good run out, about 70 minutes. When you look at the other first team players that are there, right? You've got Kyogo. Are you including Mikey Johnson as a first team player? Yes. And then you've got Yang. Those two wingers. I mean, you've not got Kuhn isn't on the bench tonight. Kuhn's not on the bench. Um, Neither is Hatate. There's an interesting one. Hatate's not even on the bench. So there you go. Rio Hatate, who's trying to talk himself out of the club, isn't on the bench. Interesting. Like I say, it'll be a case of all these younger boys will be getting a game these first two games, and this will decide on which one of the youth players that the manager thinks may be able to step up into the first team during the season. That's what he uses these first two games for. He uses that to look at the younger players, say, do you know what? He might actually be able to step up into the squad this summer. And if we get him in training with the first team squad, he might be able to get a couple of games in the cup, in the League Cup. You never know. He might get a couple of games in the Scottish Cup, and then that way, it's bleeding them into the team. It's bringing them on, bringing these players on in the sort of 80th, 90th, 85th minute when we're winning. But Bosun Lawwell, massive night for him, absolutely massive night for him. Let's see how he does this evening. And we might do. We're going to go. Are we going to do a live after the game? Nah, because it's going to be too late. If England get gubbed, we'll come on and do a live just to laugh at them. Looking forward to see Bosun. Evening Baz hat trick for Mikey Johnson, 5-0. Paul Baird says probably doesn't want to go to Birmingham. I wouldn't blame him. Listen, if he comes in and does the job for Celtic tonight, and with the absence of Rio Hatate, you've got to say, Ohm has a chance. No Kelly either. No Kelly. That says a lot. But there's no Rio Hatate. There's no Kuhn. So you don't look into it. I think it's just one of those games that's on Scottish soil where Brendan Rodgers has said, right, I've got these youth players here. Let's see how they play the second half of the game. Let me see them in competitive action rather than going to watch them play a B team game. Let me see them in some competitive action, and then we'll decide. That's what I'm saying, Michael Ross. Kuhn isn't there either. So um, talking about players that aren't there tonight, I wouldn't worry about it. The fact that Daniel Kelly's there, not there, don't worry about it. It could be the fact that Brendan said, "I know what Daniel Kelly can do. He's going to be going to America with us. Kuhn's going to be going to America with us. Do you know? I know what certain players can do. To me, that squad tonight just looks like Brendan Rodgers wants to see a lot of players in action for himself before making decisions. Because let's face it, the ultimate decision on who flies to America for the rest of pre-season, and when you fly to America, you're probably going to be in the squad or thereabouts in the squad come the start of the season. This is just a way of using the B team players to see if any of them can make the cut. And I think it's probably a good thing that Brendan Rodgers is doing. He'll probably get asked about the lineup. But anyway, I'm sure some of the Celtic media, if there's any there tonight, will do that. And on that note, little last look at the comments section. Where the hell is it? Um, it's a 7:45 kickoff. Rangers defend in Europe. We don't. We try and play attacking football. Yep, and that explains why we are away down. Does Doug Bosnlaw will not need one more season to qualify as homegrown? I'm not too sure about that. Even Baz says Stuart Ramsey. Stuart, you're just on as I'm going off. It's 8 p.m. kickoff, not 7:45 p.m. kickoff. 4-0 says James Kennedy. And who really cares? Says cheers. And that's it. I am done and dusted for this evening. 1,260 people have watched the video so far. There's only 77 thumbs up. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. There's currently 243 people watching. I'm away to get ready to grab something to eat before the Celtic game. I might just, will we come on at half time at the Celtic game? Should we come on at half time? Tell me in the comments. Get a yes in the comments. Should we come on at half time and we see how many is actually watching the Celtic game compared to the England game? Anyway, on that note, have a fantastic day, Celtic fans all around the world. The Dutch kicking the asses of the English. So let's hope they have off and on the park. Hasta luego.